Brenda from the Liberty Public Library and part of Randolph County Public Libraries, and myself and our fellow librarians here are going to discuss new picture books today and J fiction. We're going to call this our PB and J series. Ha 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 ha. We need to make a special sign that says PB and J. So join us for our PB and J. We're hoping this is kind of going to be a new recording just to show you all what new books, because we've got all these great books here, and because a lot of our branches aren't open right now, we can't necessarily get you in to come and see them. So we're hoping to show you new books that we have so you can call and check them out or reserve them online. And we do have our masks on because here at Liberty, we are open. We're open for appointments. You might hear phone ringing and all this stuff in the background. But we also are doing curbside service. So we are wearing our masks so that we can take care of ourselves and take care of you as well. So Emily and Sam, you want to introduce yourselves?
Hey, I'm Miss Samantha. I work over at the Asheboro Public Library Children's Room. I'm the head of Children's Services here, and we're excited to gather and talk a little bit about new picture books and new junior fiction. We are also wearing masks because we are respectful of our coworkers and we're working closely with each other. So we're making sure to wear our masks. We are also doing curbside pickup at the Asheboro Public Library. So you can call and put these books on hold and we'll get them out there for you.
Okay, I'm Miss Emily, and I also work at the Children's Room at Asheboro Public Library. Miss Sam already said we are still doing curbside pickup, so you can definitely check out any of the books that interest you today or anything else. You can check those out by giving us a call or putting them on hold through our website. I am wearing a mask because I feel like it would be weird if there were only 2 people wearing a mask, even though I'm at home today. So I'm wearing a mask as well. I want to be included.
Solidarity. That's great. Plus, it's a cute mask, so they're getting cuter and cuter these days.
If we have to wear, we keep wearing them as we should be. Might as well wear something, a cute accessory, right?
That's right. All right. So Brenda, did you want to get us started with the picture books?
Sure, yeah. So our first segment, we're going to do picture books. And then when we post the video, we're going to tag where J fiction starts too. So if you want to skip picture books and you don't feel like you want to hang out with us talking about young readers books, feel free to skip ahead and we'll make sure we put in when we start talking about the J fiction. But to get us started, I'm going to talk a little bit about this book. It's called My NC from A to Z. So My North Carolina from A to Z. And it is written by Michelle Lanier. Michelle Lanier was the founding executive director of the North Carolina African American Heritage Commission. And she wrote this amazing book, and it is illustrated by Dare Coulter, who is a muralist. And I would love to go up and see some of her work. I believe she's in Durham. But this book is not only a wonderful book that talks about African-American figures who are from North Carolina, but also things that happened in North Carolina historically in relation to different parts of history. And so he has the alphabet with all these absolutely gorgeous illustrations and letters. This is one of my favorite designs, looking at ice cream and pictures. And there's Nina Simone. And this book is also in Liberty. We have 2 book walks at both of our parks. We have Paul Henry Smith Park and Freedom Park. And this is actually our book walk for the next month or so. Not only for African American History Month and Black History Month, but also just because this is just such a gorgeous book. And when this came out last year, I had the chance to see Michelle Lanier do a reading. And I just said, that has to be one of our story walks. So it's really exciting just to see these great figures, pieces of history. And you'll also learn about a little bit about Liberty history, because we had here in Liberty, there's a little thing about a Rosenwald school, and Liberty had a Rosenwald school. So that's kind of a neat connection too. So that's one of my picture book picks, and a lot of our libraries now have this book in the system. Do you want me to do my second one, or do we want to?
Oh.
We want to go around the circle and come back, or?
Oh, you know what? That's up to you. What do you think we should do?
I don't know. I'm
Let's
happy
go
to
around
do.
the circle then.
Okay, let's go around the circle.
Let me go ahead and I'll bring out my book. This is the book, I Am Every Good Thing. And this is by Derek Barnes, who is so excellent. I saw him speak at a symposium once. He's so just incredible and moving, and all of his work is just wonderful. He's a winner of the NCTE Charlotte Huck Award. And this is an upbeat, empowering picture book about a young boy who's proud of everything that makes him who he is. I'm a nonstop ball of energy. The pictures are gorgeous. I wanted to point out they're by Gordon C. James. Just phenomenal artwork. Just wanted to give an example of it right here. It's a book that serves kind of as a reminder that people will tell you who they are and show you who they are, and all we have to do is really listen and pay attention. I love books by Derek Barnes. They're incredible. So that is my choice. I Am Every Good Thing.
Awesome. So my first pick for our picture books is Brave Ballerina, which is actually a short picture book biography about Jeanette Collins, who is a prima ballerina for, for the Metropolitan Opera House. So prima ballerina being she was one of the principal dancers. And here you can see this biography actually takes you from the really beginning of when she started, from the beginning of when she really started dancing as a little girl. And it takes you through her life and the struggles that she experienced. People telling her that she couldn't dance, or if she danced, she'd have to follow these certain rules that other dancers didn't have to follow. And she refused to bend to that. And she kept dancing. And you can see, again, beautiful illustrations. But she kept dancing, and eventually people took notice of her staying true to herself and dancing, and she got to dance as the prima ballerina in 1951. So this is about a little girl following her dreams, refusing to let herself be put down by people in the dance business who were trying to tell her how she had to be if she wanted to be successful. She said, no, I'm going to stay true to myself. I'm going to be proud of myself, and I'm going to dance anyways. And you'll see. And we did. That is my pick. That is by Michelle Meadows with illustrations by Ebony Glenn.
Beautiful book.
I think it's a good reminder too that a lot of the times we think about picture books and we think about early readers just being stories and fiction, but really it's a good opportunity to incorporate nonfiction while you're reading to kids, because then they understand there are other things outside of just stories and fiction too. So very good pick, Emily.
Yeah.
Well, my second book is called Taya and the Bees. And this is a really sweet illustrated book. It's by Maribeth Bolts and illustrated by Angela Dominguez. And this book is on several levels really fun. I love bees. I have bees at our farm. And so this is about Taya, and her dad has bees on their rooftop. And so, and speaking of her dad, what I think is also wonderful is if you look at her family makeup, Taya has a Black father and a white mother. And so Kaya is biracial. I think this is a really great opportunity to have a book with biracial children. We're starting to see more books that really, I think, speak to the diversity of our kids in a lot of our communities. So this is a really fun one to have that too. But Kaya, here's Kaya's dad up on the roof with his bees. Kaya does not like bees though. And her dad wants her to help him do beekeeping. And so she'll go up and she'll do some things, but she gets really scared of the bees. But then dad starts teaching because she gets stung. So sometimes bees sting. But bees don't want to sting people because then they'll die. A bee only have one life, and if they sting you, then they die. And they're really only doing that to protect the hive. So she gets really upset and she doesn't want to take care of the bees anymore. And Dad's really trying to convince her that, they weren't trying to come after her. They were just protecting the hive. So he teaches her about why honey is important and why bees are important. So she helps make the honey and learns about all these different plants and that we have to have bees in order to have food. And she thinks that's really super cool. And she makes friends with the bees. And so she overcomes her fears and she gets to spend more time with her dad. And this great word, she's brave. So she has bravery, she overcomes her fears, and gets to learn a little bit about beekeeping.
Oh, that's such a good book.
Very cool.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love that. For mine, I've got Girl on a Motorcycle. This is a newer book. It's by Noveski. It's a picture book biography again, a book about the first woman to ride a motorcycle around the world. And you're taken on a journey across the world, and you're touching on all these different cultures. It's also a book that has these infographics in it that I think are really interesting and cool. And the artwork and the art style is very artistic. This is more for a little bit older children, ages like 5 to 9, kindergarten all the way up through 4th grade. We're seeing a lot more picture books like that are a little bit more intricate and detailed, that you could really tell some more stories with it. And she's solving problems as she goes. Her bike breaks down and she has to take the train some places. She's meeting different people and experiencing different cultures. And what I like most about it is that she's not afraid. She's not scared to be on her own. She's embracing her destiny, and she's learning to love being alone and traveling by herself, which I think is really important right now when so many of us have to, learn to love being on our own or with limited company. So she really just enjoys the world around her and learning about the world around her. And then she eventually comes home and understands how important home is to her. So I love that book. Girl on the Motorcycle.
That's a great book. And I think the infographics are also a great way to help your child build their vocabulary, just because you've got all of these things and you're connecting the image of the thing with that word. And also you're getting to maybe explain to your child what those things are, because it might not be something they would encounter in their regular life. All right. Great. So I also have more of a collected biography I'm just realizing now I didn't pick any just nice little stories, but this is a beautiful true story. Hidden Figures, the true story of 4 Black women and the space races. You might have heard of the movie, you might have read the larger biography or the larger nonfiction book that is by the same name, I believe. This was written by Margot Lee Shetterly and illustrated by Laura Freeman. And this is a story of how these 4 brilliant women helped get Apollo 11 and astronauts to the moon. And looking through here, we can see the different experiences these women were facing, and how they were really coping with math, essentially. And they use their math skills to help to help further our scientific endeavors and really help us in the space race. And who knows how long it would have taken to get astronauts to the moon if it weren't for these brilliant women. And these women had to overcome adversity. They were women who wanted their names on history, despite a lot of people saying women shouldn't have their names on these reports and things like that. And these women were actually so brilliant that they were referred to as the computers by some people, which nowadays we know how much computers can do. So just think about how brilliant these women absolutely must have been to be referred to as computers because of all the amazing math they could do and the brilliance of their minds. So, and then we have a timeline in the back here that kind of tells you when the different women were working with NASA, what they were doing before that, and essentially how their lives led to them working for NASA and working to get people to the moon. And then we have some little short biographies in the back here. Great book. It's got everything, biographies, history, science, math. It's awesome. Can't recommend it
It hits
enough.
it all.
It
Awesome.
does.
I'm really enjoying these books that have been coming out that have these glossaries, or they have like descriptions of the words or things that were used in the book, or even those short biographies. So it's kind of like an added bonus to the book and really building up on the content of the material. And that's what I thought too. And I didn't say with my NC from A to Z, there's no description of who all these people are. But what they did was they created a website that you could go to, and then you can learn about all the content and all the people. So it's a really kind of interactive experience to be able to know and give you that secondary material too.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
neat. So good to have that extension experience to prolong it.
Absolutely. And I think it can
we
also
are officially, whatever timestamp this ends up being, we're officially switching over now to J fiction. So we've had our PB, had our peanut butter. Now we're gonna have our jelly, our J fiction.
It's so cute.
I love a good peanut butter and jelly sandwich, so I'm super excited about this name if we go with it. Maybe I'm rolling with something we actually have.
No, it's very cute. It's very good.
Very cute. It's very cute.
I prefer
All
grape
right.
jelly myself. Do you all have a preference?
Oh, I don't know. I was a peanut butter and mayonnaise child growing up.
Ew, what?
Yeah,
What?
I
Who
know.
did that to you?
Ask any of your parents or grandparents who may have been
Elvis?
raised in the Depression.
Elvis eat
They'll
peanut
tell
butter?
you.
No, Elvis ate
Peanut
peanut butter
butter.
and bananas,
Okay,
which
I
is
thought you-
delicious.
yeah, which is delicious. Peanut butter and mayonnaise? No.
That
Try it at
sounds-
home, kids. Try it at home, kids.
I'm not a jelly or jam person. I'm just peanut butter.
I guess, Sam, I shouldn't say no because I have not tried it. So, and my rule in my house is you can't say you don't like something until you try it. So,
Oh, that's good.
I should
That's-
not have said that. I have not actually tried peanut butter and mayonnaise.
We're not trying
That's
to
not
yuck
a rule.
anyone's yum, right?
That's not a rule
Yeah.
in my house. I'll yuck your
It's
yum.
not so
That
much
sounds
as telling me
icky.
I'm not trying it.
I love it.
All right, so we switched over to Jay now. And I brought from my new J shelf is actually right here behind me. So we've got some great new books on display, and I brought a book called, this is a series, I should say, a series called The Unicorn Rescue Society. And this particular one is The Creature in the Pines. And this is a new series from a Newbery Honor winning author, Adam Gidwitz, and it's illustrated by, I'm probably butchering this, I meant to look it up, Hatim Ali. So I apologize, Penguin Random House, if I just butchered the illustrator's name. I'll try to double check on that. But this is a really sweet, I shouldn't say sweet necessarily because it's got a lot of mystery and there's some dragons and there's lots of kind of creepy things going on. This is kind of a more of like an early chapter book. So we've got a little bit bigger spacing, got some illustrations, but it's also really fun to, for anyone who likes dragons and likes a good mystery, kids that meet strange professors who are hiding things. And it takes place in New Jersey. And if you've ever been in New Jersey, well, New Jersey is just a mysterious place and stuff. So. But I think we were talking before we did our recording that we've got a lot of kids who really enjoy different series that we've had around for a long time that are about dragons and about these mysterious secret creatures. And this is a new series that I highly recommend if you like any of those magical things, just to give it a chance and try it out. And so we've also got a good diverse cast of characters in the book too, which I think is really good.
That's great. Always looking for fantasy books and new fantasy series. That's awesome. My first one is Twins, and this is a junior graphic novel written by Coretta Scott King Award winner Varian Johnson and cartoonist Shannon Wright. It is incredibly funny. It's about twins Maureen and Francine. They're twins and they're best friends. They start, they do everything together until like 6th grade, and then suddenly Francine wants to go by Fran and run for class president and join the chorus. And both siblings kind of go through that hilarious antics and these heartfelt moments that help them try to discover who they are as individuals rather than just seen as twins. But will they survive as sisters and friends by the end of the book? You'll have to read to find out. And I'd suggest this book for middle graders between 8 to 12 years old, or like grades like 4 through 7. It's just a really awesome graphic novel read. I know those are really popular right now. So, Twins.
Awesome. All right. Well, I actually chose the second in a series, the Tristan Strong series. The Tristan Strong Destroys the World book, which is the second in the series. This was this was written by the New York Times bestselling author Kwame Mabalia. I apologize if I pronounced that wrong. I too meant to look it up and then just it completely blanked on it. He actually lives in North Carolina, so he is a North Carolina author, which is very cool. And this is a great book for if your child has been reading more of the fantasy books like Percy Jackson, or something along the lines of being mythology based. So if your child is interested in mythology, which they might be discussing in school. And the really cool thing about the Tristan Strong series is that it focuses on African folklore and folk heroes. And so in the first book, Tristan had to go and save this different kind of universe. And now that he's back home, he's hoping everything's going to be honky-dory, everything's going to be great. He's hoping that he can kind of cope with what happened in the first book, because it was a lot for a kid to go through. And unfortunately, the spirits are telling him that there is something coming. And it's not just affecting him, it's affecting his family. So in this book, we get to see Tristan Strong kind of work through some emotions and then also make new alliances, make new friends, and work to kind of protect his family and get back what was taken. So I would recommend that for like maybe like later 5th grade, but probably more like 6th to 8th grade. It's a very good book. Again, it's one of the Rick Riordan Presents publishers, so it's got the stamp of very fun mythology and God-based or myth, cult different gods and mythology and things like that. It's great.
Awesome. Mythology is hot right now. Kids really love reading about mythology.
I do want to say though, I don't know a lot about African mythology. I'm excited to learn about it. I don't want to call it like mythology too much because I'm not sure if these are still cultural beliefs held today. I don't want to disrespect that at all. Mythology might have been the wrong word to use. So if it was, I apologize.
Good point. Good point.
All right, my second pick for new J fiction is the series Love, Sugar, Magic. And this one is A Sprinkle of Spirits. And I don't believe this is the second one. Yeah, A Dash of Trouble is the first one. And this book is written by Anna Mariana. And it features a Mexican-American main character and her family who owns a bakery, a magical bakery. But it's also really fun because it has mystery and it has this really sort of fun, mischievous nature to it. And it has friendship. So there's a lot going on, but it's this wonderful narrative where they just have these quirky kind of fun plot lines of different things going on, and just kind of a closeness not only between the family and the bakery, but also the friends who participate. I think it's just kind of a fun line, and especially for some of our readers who are who enjoy that kind of books with girl series that have strong characters and kind of a mystery, but not quite. It's not scary, I wouldn't say, but it just has that sort of mischievous mystery side. And so it's more of like I think it'd be a really fun read. This is personally on my own TBR list. When I get around to actually having more time to read, this comes across my desk as a fun series that I think it would be really fun just to enjoy as a light reading, but also just a new series to check out too, with some different characters and different plot line too.
Oh, that looks very good. I got so intrigued by that book. I was just like leaning into my screen, like, what's more?
Who doesn't want to talk about baking? I mean, that's what it's called.
I do.
And it's like
I love that baking theme. It's so cute.
It's magic and pastries.
I know. It's like
you can't want more than that. What more is there? I've got The Last Mirror to the Left. This is the second in a series. This is a junior adventure novel. It's written by the Edgar-nominated author Lamar Giles. And this is the latest series of the legendary Alston boys. The Alston boys of Logan County are Otto and Sheed. And these cousins get into time-traveling mischief. In this latest installment, they're trying to rescue an escaped prisoner and bring him to justice. It's earmarked as very funny and off the wall. So if you really liked like Lemony Snicket books, this would be a really interesting series to pick up for you. And this is really good for the age range like 8 to 12, and it's grade level 3 through 7. It looks like it's going to be extremely exciting, but very quirky, and have a quirky sense of humor about it. So this will be fun for readers of Lemony Snicket for sure, I think. All right.
Okay, keeping with my theme, aside from Tristan Strong of more nonfiction, I did select a poetry collection. I chose to bring Say Her Name, which is by Zetta Elliott, and this is actually illustrated by cursive. Lovis Wise. I apologize again if I got that name wrong. I'm not very good at reading cursive, it appears. But this is books to empower Black girls and women. And it kind of looks over the African-American experience, especially pertaining to America and everything that is going on currently in our political sort of scene. And it's great. It's a really thought-provoking read. I can get to some of the poems. But it kind of goes into the experience people are having, and it's great, not just for the people it's meant to empower, but it's also great, I think, for the rest of us to look at it and kind of try and understand where other people are coming from. It's very mind-opening, and the illustrations beautifully contribute to the poems that they are attached to. Just absolutely gorgeous. So I would definitely recommend checking it out. There are also different notes in the back on different poems that are included here, and there is also some source information next to some poems. So if Zetta Elliott didn't write the poem herself, but is instead including it, then she'll sometimes put in like a little paragraph about the source. So that is Say Her Name. Absolutely beautiful, thought-provoking, mind-opening book of empowering poems, especially targeted towards the young Black girls and women.
Awesome. That's terrific.
Well, fun.
Fun.
It's our first installment of PB&J, Picture Books and J Fiction. So thank you guys for doing this. I'm really excited that hopefully, we were able to pull this off in about 25 minutes and maybe give people an idea of some new books and material that they might be interested in checking out.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of fun. I'm definitely adding the baking one as soon as I figure out its name. I'll have to rewatch the video, but I will definitely be adding that to my list because it's got magic and baked goods, and that gives me an excuse to test out whatever recipes might be sprinkled throughout.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, got some wonderful titles. And since this is being recorded, people can pause and go back and find those titles and look them up. Give us a call at any of the Randolph County Public Library branches. We can get curbside pick up any of these titles to any of the branches that are closest to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Wait, don't forget the website as well. You can also use the website, maybe if you're not comfortable calling. And also if you just want to browse, because we've talked about a few books here, but sometimes you might want to browse by juvenile literature, maybe that is specifically available at your branch, or that might be available at other branches that we can have sent to your branch. So if you go to our website, there'll be a search bar at the top right corner. You can go ahead and type in a topic or a person, and that'll bring up results relating to that, and we can get you sorted with something that is particularly interesting to you or your child.
You know, also take a look at the Wowberry too. And Wowberry is a weekly newsletter via email, but also is on the Randolph County Public Library page, and that's a good way to kind of quickly scroll through and see new books of different topics. So you might see the new books we've talked about, but you might also see some other new books that you'd be interested in as well.
Awesome.
So, all right. Well, thank you guys. And we will see you in a couple weeks.
Yes.
See you in a couple weeks. See you next month.
Bye.